When we think of Christmas, we think of lights, family, and the birth of Jesus. But there is something that is rarely mentioned. December 25th does not appear in the Bible. So, why was this date chosen? Long before Christianity, ancient cultures of the Northern Hemisphere celebrated the winter solstice. It is the moment when the sun reaches its lowest point in the sky, the shortest day and the longest night of the year. For 3 days, the sun appears to remain still, as if it no longer rises in the firmament. On the third day, it begins to rise slowly, light gradually returning, until it reaches its fullness at the summer solstice. For ancient peoples, this was not just astronomy, it was a sacred message. The light dies and is reborn. That is why, in places like Newgrange in Ireland, a monument over 5,000 years old, the sunrise of the solstice illuminates the heart of the temple, symbolically marking the rebirth of the sun. This symbolism influenced the Christian Church, which chose to adopt ancient pagan festivities to promote Christianity in Europe. Jesus became the spiritual light that comes into the world at the moment of greatest darkness. Here, another powerful symbolic parallel emerges. Just as the sun appears to remain still for 3 days and then rises again, Jesus dies, remains in darkness for 3 days, and rises on the third day. Not as a literal copy, but as a symbolic translation of an ancient language into a new faith. In this way, December 25th, a sacred date for solar cults, symbolizing the rebirth of the sun, the source of life and light, was transformed into the birth of Jesus. It was not a coincidence, but a way of communicating an eternal message through symbols that humanity already understood. So the next time you celebrate December 25th, remember that this date has deeper roots than we might imagine. It is not only about the birth of Jesus, but about the way ancient peoples read in nature the return of the light, the promise of hope, and the eternal cycle of rebirth.